Wembanyama is going to have himself quite the busy schedule, and should he play at the Summer League?
You are Locked On Spurs, your daily San Antonio Spurs podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, this is Chris Sabat, and you're listening to Locked On Spurs with Jeff Garcia.
Welcome back to Locked On Spurs, right here on the Locked On NBA Network. I'm your host, Jeff Garcia, Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. I am glad to have you back. Happy NBA Draft Week. This is a week. This is it. It's here. In just a few short days, Victor Wembanyama will be a San Antonio Spurs. He almost let it out last week. We'll talk about that later on in the show. But what are we talking about today? We're going to be looking at Wemby's heavy schedule. There's a lot on his slate, and just a piece of it finished with him wrapping up his time with the French League. We're going to be discussing that. Should we be worried? And of course, Summer League. A lot of fans are talking about whether or not he should play at the Vegas Summer League. We're going to dive into that and so much more. But first, this episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. You got to go to PrizePicks right now. First-time users can get themselves a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with promo code LOCKEDON. That's PrizePicks.com, promo code LOCKEDON. So, yeah, we're talking about, to start the show, Wembanyama. Yeah, he's coming to San Antonio. All signs are pointing to it. And he'll be wearing silver and black soon. But before he gets there, he has to get through a bunch of stuff. So he just finished with one major one, that being the French League. Now he's going to have to go through the draft. So that's going to be a whirlwind, celebratory, media and TV spots and French media and U.S. media. We're forgetting, too, he's also have to go play with Team France this summer in August to represent his country in a FIBA basketball tournament. Then there's Summer League. Then there's preseason and training camp. There's a lot riding on him physically to start the season. And I understand why Spurs fans are a little nervous about this. I totally get it. This is the prized possession. This is the new toy. Or this is your new sneakers. You don't want to get a crease on it. You don't want to scuff it up already. But guess what? That scuffing is going to happen likely, this summer. Whether it's the wear and tear of him or just being gassed. He's likely going to be gassed heading into training camp. That's where the Spurs load management is going to come in. This is what they're known for. This is how they preserve players. We've seen it before, from Tim Duncan to Manu Ginobili and everybody else in between. Spurs are good at that. But I understand your issues, Spurs fans. I get it. That's a lot for a 19-year-old kid. But the good news is that he's never had any major injuries, knock on wood. He has not been able, or he hasn't sat out an entire, chunk of a season before coming to the NBA. So he's good. So that should make you breathe a little easier. But of course, like anybody else, me, you, our guests we're going to bring in a while, injuries can happen at any moment. You just hope for him that he stays in shape. But I'm thinking that, the load management is coming. We're going to be diving that into a lot more right here on Locked On Spurs. It's going to bring in our guest. He is Rudy Campos of Sweep the League. And Rudy, welcome back to Locked On Spurs.
Thanks, Jeff. It's kind of weird because I've always been in hiding, and now you've got me on camera for the first time on Locked On Spurs. So now they get to look at who the He-Man guy you're talking about really is.
The guy who loses all that weight, and it was right here. But let's dive into it, Rudy. This has been kind of a hot topic, and we'll start off with just his heavy schedule, and it kind of leads into our second topic, and that is Wemby and a lot of mileage coming in just to preseason training camp. You heard it right now from just wrapping up the French League. He's going to play with Team France in a few months. Mm-hmm. He's going to go through the whole chaos and whirlwind of the NBA draft night, and then the partying, and then having to, then travel with his team. That's a lot on him. Should Spurs fans, or are you concerned right now?
I'm concerned that he hasn't had any rest. I mean, his Metropolitan 92 team went all the way to the league championship on the international league that he's in. Mm-hmm. Didn't win the title. They lost to the top-ranked Monaco team. But again, if he was to have played an entire series against Monaco, that would have gone up to like a day or two before the draft. So that's really pushing it. But I'm kind I'm not really concerned that he played a lot of these games. What I'm concerned about is once he's drafted, immediately, like July 3rd and 5th through the 5th, they're going to be in California for the California Classic.
Right.
Will the Spurs play him there? I want to say probably not. And I really think that it's going to be limited, like we've been talking about in the summer type stuff for him. But concern-wise, not so much. The Spurs are really smart when it comes to their players. They understand he's had a very busy summer. He's played more games than all the collegiate and G League guys, really. So they're probably just going to bring him a little, slowly, pretty much the entire summer. I don't have any problems with it. I don't have any issues with the Spurs right now.
Right. Yeah. What for me, Rudy, is that I'm anticipating early load management to start his career. Yeah, like early, maybe not towards the end of season 1, but just very early. But as far as the load or just him, playing a lot of games, there's a lot of things to be okay with. One, as mentioned in the intro, he has never had a major injury. Has he dealt with injuries before? Yes. He's had back and leg injuries. He even broke a bone in his leg. But he's obviously playing great. Obviously hasn't affected him at all. I think the big one we're not talking about, he's 19 years old. He's a teenager. So he'll be able to get his win back pretty fast and recover pretty fast. But he's still a professional athlete. He's going to need time to recover. Hence, going to the Spurs is a good thing for him. Now, what about the argument? And obviously we're talking about the Summer League in a while, but the argument of, hey, this is the kid. This is the guy. This is what everybody's praising about and jumping over the hoops for, and NBA's talking about him. Don't you think that it'd be wise for the Spurs to perhaps, take it easy on him this summer, maybe even into training camp, knowing that it's not just the Spurs that have the hopes hanging on him. It's also the rest of the entire league and a country of France for him to play well.
Yeah. So the thing you got to remember too, we're looking at guys like Paolo Banchero. A lot of these guys, they ended up playing a lot of minutes this summer. But when you've looked at past players of so-called generational talents like Tim Duncan and those guys, they didn't play very much during the summer. They got spurts, minutes here and there. They didn't play a whole lot, in the summer league. So what I'm looking forward to is the fact that I think he's going to have a pretty decent summer. The Team France competition that he's going to participate in is probably going to be his most competitive one this summer. But what I see just a brisk summer for him, very easy. And when we hit preseason, that's where I feel the bulk of his minutes are going to start to really shine. He's going to get a lot of experience against veteran guys in the NBA. He doesn't really need a lot of minutes against the kids that are playing right now. A lot of the rookies, he's kind of already played to that talent already with being international. So I think we're going to see a bulk of those minutes go up when it comes to preseason. And then obviously when the season starts, his minutes are going to probably be increased a little bit more. So preseason is what I have scheduled right now. I have circled right now to see more of Victor play with the San Antonio Spurs.
And there's also this too, fans, the league and the country of France, they want to see him putting on the uniform sooner than later, even if it's a summer league uniform. They just want to see him in the NBA. So there's that. But look, we have at least some sort of evidence of how the Spurs will handle their rookies. Now, granted, a totally different circumstances, but Jeremy Sohan did not play at the summer league last year. A lot of Spurs fans were clamoring, get him going. Had a country of Poland. Get him going. Sat him out. Now he had the coronavirus hit him, and I think there was a little bit of an injury. So there's that. But you could extrapolate the same type of mentality that the Spurs are going to take with Wemby this summer, is perhaps apply the same thing. But it's just something to food for thought. That here's what seemingly right now is your franchise player coming into training camp and to preseason with a heavy amount of games under his belt heading into his NBA career. But Rudy, I think that's a good and a bad thing. It's a bad in the sense that, he's probably going to be gassed, probably load management, but it's also good because at least he's getting experience and he's going to get a lot of professional experience, especially playing in that the international tournament this August.
Yeah, so the one thing to remember too is a lot of these guys being drafted, like I said, their season ended back in March, early April. Yeah. Victor played almost the entire summer already. We're going into the end of June here. So he's not going to be as rusty coming into this summer as a lot of these other players are. But one thing to remember, like you said, being gassed, all that stuff, the biggest number we got to remember is 19. He's only 19. He's still a kid. So like you mentioned earlier, his recovery time is going to be very, very quick. He's probably playing ball as we speak right now, probably getting ready for the NBA draft.
He's probably outside your house right now. I want to go one-on-one with you. Well, that's what I heard.
Needless to say, I'm supposed to meet him at Incarnate Word here in a little bit, get some games in with him there. But, the thing with Victor, too, is that the one thing you got to remember, and it's one word, and I hate to stress it so much, but I stress it with you all the time, it's injury. You don't want to risk that kind of injury to, a player like him, being that he's a franchise player. He's a guy that the entire NBA has circled as, hey, you know what? While LeBron's on his way out, we've got another talent coming in. Not saying he's LeBron talent, but I mean, he's of that magnitude right now. So they're going to take their time with it. They're going to allow him to probably play with the French team, as much as he has to for them to qualify for Olympic competition and stuff like that. But like I said, the summer is probably going to be a brisk one. It's going to be easy for him, just a few minutes here and there.
He is Rudy Campos. He's with Sweep the League. He'll be back on Twitter soon, everybody. As you can see on the screen right now, it says Twitter's coming back soon. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes with Rudy. Perhaps he has a big surprise for us coming up soon. Maybe that's why he shut things down. But anyway, make sure to check out Sweep the League and ask him how he did with one-on-one going against Wemby after the show. Good luck. Good luck there, Rudy.
I'm trying. You know what? I in a game of horse, I did beat him.
Drunk,
I got him on. So
maybe the Spurs should pick you number one overall, not him.
We've been trying to get them to do that, Jeff, forever. They're not doing it.
All right. Hey, I want to talk to you about Ibotta, like groceries, school shopping. You can get it all done and just by going to Ibotta, but obviously, you want to get some cash back. So when you're ready to do it, all that shopping, why not get that cash back with Ibotta? You can earn cash back on every shopping trip. Ibotta gives you cash back on hundreds of grocery items, from produce to personal care to pantry goods and so many more. You also want to check it out right now. You want to go to Ibotta and go sign up right now. Look, either you can, cover the cost on your own and not get any money back, or, cover the cost and then some. Look, a typical basket of groceries was over $50 more expensive at the end of 2022 than the beginning of the year. Well, that's due to inflation. So you can earn 2.5 times that in cash back from Ibotta, or even depending how much you use Ibotta. So again, you can earn cash back on hundreds of online brands and retailers when you start Ibotta, like Lowe's and Macy's and Sephora and Best Buy. The list goes on and on. Ibotta gives you real cash back. Other apps, some give you points. That doesn't amount to much. Ibotta gives you real cash back that you can put into your bank account, PayPal, or gift cards. Right now, Ibotta is offering our listeners $5 just for trying it out and using code LOCKED when they register. You want to go to the App Store or the Google Play Store, download the free Ibotta app right now, use code LOCKED, and that is spelled IBOTTA in the Google Play or App Store. And again, use code LOCKED.
Autobots, roll out.
He is back. He is Rudy Campos of Sweep the League. I think during the break right now, he was probably game planning against Wemby. He was waiting for him outside to go one-on-one.
Yeah, fortunately for him, I'm a monumental 5'8", and he's only 7'4", so I can literally go under his legs and get to the basket.
That might be your best bet. I think that's probably like even Joel Embiid's or Rudy Gobert's best bet, because you ever seen those photos of him next to Gobert? He towers over Gobert. But anyway, as you can tell, we're talking about Wembanyama. Yes, a day ends in Y. We're talking about Wemby. And let's go to shift gears now and talk about the Summer League. There's a lot of chatter right now. Will he or won't he? Will Wemby play or won't Wemby play? That is the question. Obviously, right now, it is an open question. You hear reports that the Spurs would like for him to play. Ultimately, Rudy, I think it's going to be his decision. Your thoughts?
I want to say it's half and half. I mean, it's going to be half Wemby's, half Spurs. The Spurs do understand. Look, you've got to get a feel for the NBA game. I mean, it's a lot faster than international play. Mm-hmm. It's obviously a lot more physical than international play. So you definitely want to get him some minutes. But at the same time, as much of an itch that Victor has to scratch to play NBA ball, the Spurs, in my opinion, need to limit him. And this is probably going to piss fans off, but 10 to 15 minutes right now. Give
Right
him
now.
that rest.
Okay.
Right now for summer league play, 10 to 15 minutes. Just get his feet in the water. Let him, just test it out a little bit. No reason to throw him out there for the 25 minutes, or so that we wanted him to play and all that kind of stuff. Just get the 10 to 15 minutes and maybe give him a game or two off to where he's just, kind of resting. Because remember, still got Team France. You still have your first off season with the San Antonio Spurs. And we all know from Pop's history that his, camps are not easy. Everybody remembers the hills that those guys had to run and stuff. Plus, you've got NBA preseason coming up too. It's all going to be here very fast, Jeff. So when you look at the entirety of the thing, summer league is probably way down here compared to other things in the NBA. So that's why I say 10, 15 minutes would be good for him. Maybe a game or two off. So don't waste it on summer.
Right. Yeah. I'm leaning towards don't play him at all. Sure, make an appearance, wave to the crowd, say hello. I'm here in the NBA, but we're talking about meaningless games, really.
Yeah.
In the record, sure, there's meaningful for players that are looking to land a job in the NBA, or perhaps rookies that need to prove themselves just a little bit more, maybe like your bottom, first rounders, obviously your second rounders. But if you're a top 10 pick, I mean, sure, you go out there and put on a show for the crowd, but yeah, if you're Wemby, if you're Scoot Henderson, you're Brandon Miller, do you really want to run the risk of injury? Sure, as I said earlier, injury can happen anytime. Yeah. But they're going to be playing against guys that are seeking a job, that want that NBA job, and don't give a what if your name is Wembanyama on the back of that jersey. They'll go at you. There's also this too that the cons obviously is the big one. We've been talking about that. It'll just add more, zap more of the gas from the tank that he has. Again, I don't expect him to play all the games in Sacramento, all the games in Las Vegas. No, I'm not expecting that. I would prefer he don't play at all, but I think the NBA would like to see their poster child come out a little bit, even if it's just for a half.
That's the thing.
And I'm pretty sure the country of France is going to want to see him playing out there too. Do you think just those outside pressures are going to force him to play either in Sacramento or Las Vegas?
I really feel like the NBA is going to already televise most of these games.
Yeah, I think so
they're going to expect him to play, and that's the reason why I say the 10 to 15 minutes. Spurs are probably going to have to compromise because the NBA is already selling these games to advertisers.
Oh, for sure.
Wembanyama is going to be on the Spurs Summer League. He's going to play. So the Spurs are going to have to compromise. They're not going to be able to just load manage and say, you're not going to play. We're shutting you down for the entire summer. That's just not going to fly well with the NBA. So I expect them, like I said, those 10 to 15 minutes is what I would like to see. They may play them a little bit longer, which is not great. But, there is going to be pressure. I mean, again, you're talking about a face of the league. Now, the thing to remember, too, is everybody, not even in summer, but we're talking the Giannis's and Anthony Davis, all these guys, he has a target on his back already.
Oh, for sure. Big
People
one, too.
Are gonna, you don't like it when, the young media guy comes in and tries to step in. I don't like it when, young bowlers come in and try to step on my turf. You think these guys are like, you know what? Hey, Victor, love your game. We want you to dominate.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like that. So I really think that the NBA is going to want to promote him a whole lot more. Spurs are going to have to play him. But at the same time, the injury factor is there. A lot of these young kids play reckless. So
absolutely.
Fingers crossed nothing happens in summer.
Yeah. I'm expecting minimal play at all in the summer league because he's gonna have to pack. He's probably gonna fly out of. Let's put it this way too. We're getting the timeline too. July is summer league, and then the French training camp tournament is August.
Yeah.
So something's got to give, and I think those summer league games are going to be the ones that give. So sorry, Sacramento fans and Las Vegas fans, or just fans traveling to either destination. You're probably not going to get a lot of bang for your buck.
He's probably not going to finish summer league because he's got to get
for sure.
France.
Yeah.
For the
he's got to get to France. Yeah.
Then
because logically he has to get there. Yeah.
Yeah. When he gets back from the French team, training camp starts right away, September. So, I mean, there's no rest for him anywhere after they call his name, Thursday night.
Yeah, I've been asked, are you going to go to Summer League, Sacramento, or Las Vegas? And this is my question. My answer is like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's going to be worth it. Sure. I mean, yes, you're not to say anybody else in that summer league roster for San Antonio is not worth it, but yeah, I mean, Wemby's the draw. He's the guy. You want to go see him. Spurs fans, you will definitely get your fill of Wembanyama in a French uniform playing significant minutes. So there's that, and it will be a different level of competition. Playing up against, you'll be able to see him play against older players, bigger, stronger players. So that'll be something to keep an eye on. So there's that. But yeah, it just feels, Rudy, that his Spurs, significant debut on the court will be on pause for a while, huh?
Yeah, I feel it will be on pause. You're not going to get a good amount of Wembanyama this
Mm-hmm.
summer. There's too much going on for him. He's come off a very long season
Yeah.
over with Metropolitans 92.
Mm-hmm.
Now say if they never made the playoffs, then that's different because he's going to have
Yeah.
that month and a
Sure.
half of rest in there. So definitely you're not going to get a whole lot of him. And if you do, I'm going to be very, very surprised if he's playing 20 minutes in summer league
Right.
and heading to France to lead that team. I don't even know if he would be ready for a training camp, to be honest with you. I mean, that would be tough. You're probably going to see him rest the preseason. And that's
Or we could just go to your house right now and see you take him on one-on-one.
I'd love to invite you out of the house,
Oh, no.
but he says nobody is allowed right
now. I see what's going on here. A closed practice,
a
closed session.
Practice, yeah.
It's a closed session.
RC has me on an NBA right now.
So what's your prediction? A full game or a piece of a game? What do you think he's going to play? Or maybe multiple games? How do you see this playing out?
So I think what we're going to see is the first summer league, if that's televised, I'm saying that's televised, is going to get a good amount of Victor Wembanyama that night.
Okay.
You're probably going to see him first quarter, third quarter type stuff, kind of like we see in the NFL. You get the starters in for a little bit, and then after that, I think you started to see his minutes decrease. You may see him come off the bench, maybe late in the first quarter, second quarter. Maybe you'd say start the second quarter. You might see him just in and out of the lineup, but I think only one game you're going to see significant minutes, and just to please the NBA.
Yeah, I'm right there. I think it'll be a half, and that's it. We're done. In Sacramento, a half, and in Las Vegas, a half, and that's it. I mean, looking as the most minimal time allowed that the NBA won't get mad at the Spurs. Something to that effect is likely going to happen. But we're not done talking about Wemby. Shocker here. When we get back, we're going to continue talking about Wembanyama. I'm going to ask Rudy here a couple more questions about the big Frenchman. This guy, it's just right around the corner. It's just a few days away. Can you believe it? It's almost here. I mean, the most anticlimactic but exciting Spurs draft we had in quite some time. Once again, he is Rudy Campos of Sweep the League. Hey, Locked On's NBA mock draft special is here. It's bigger than ever. Follow the entire first round in a 6-minute ultimate mock draft experience on only Locked On can deliver. All episodes are available right now. The Locked On NBA Big Board on YouTube or wherever you listen to podcasts. I also want to talk to you about PrizePicks. So how does it work? You pick 2 to 6 players and going to score more or less than their PrizePick projection. You get up to 25 times your money. No competing against other people. It's just you versus the projections available. They offer projections on any sport you watch: NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL, PGA, Euro basketball. Hey, Wemby's going to be playing there. Cricket, and so many other sports right now. Look, you want to go to PrizePicks right now. Get the app. Entries can be made in 60 seconds or less. Super easy, safe, and fast withdrawals. Currently operational in over 30 states and in Canada. Download the PrizePicks app right now or just go to prizepicks.com to play daily fantasy sports. First-time users get themselves a 100% instant deposit match up to $100 with promo code Locked On. If you deposit $100, PrizePicks gives you $100. If you deposit $50, PrizePicks gives you $50. Don't forget to enter promo code Locked On and sign up for instant deposit match up to $100. Now, you may be asking, why did I leave Rudy on during the commercial break? Because of this. Rudy, have you gone to Mudslinger's Coffee?
I definitely have.
You know where I'm going with, the OG OJ. Why don't you tell them about the OG OJ?
The OG OJ brings back so many memories. For those of you in San Antonio, it's the Ingram Park Mall memories.
Oh, my goodness. Yes.
Orange Julius. I mean,
oh.
That's the only 2 words you got to know. Orange Julius, you should be rushing to Mudslingers right now.
Right now.
Don't hesitate. Yes. Run all the stoplights, run all the stop signs, send me and Jeff the bill. We'll take care of your traffic bills.
Absolutely. Mudslingers is a drive-through coffee out in San Antonio. It is serving the community. It's has over 300 5-star reviews. If you need that pick me up, if you need that extra charge, or you want to take it easy, they have all the drinks available for you right now. It's located at 2404 Thousand Oaks Drive, open Monday through Friday. Well, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. every single day. Friendly staff. They got themselves a great selection of drinks. They also have the Red Bull Lightning infused drinks, which are really, really good. I like the to add a little strawberry to mine. It really, really adds a little more flavor to it. But they also have the Alien. Yes, in honor of Wemby's imminent arrival. They have a drink made just for him. You can get it right now. It's kiwi, red apple, and Red Bull all mixed together. A lot of reviews have been saying it's really, really good. And of course, the OG OJs, we mentioned. Go get it. Go ask for it. I had the honor to name it. I named it after us OGs in San Antonio from the 70s and 80s. We're back. Orange Julius is back, and it's at Mudslingers Drive-Thru Coffee. Again, 2404 Thousand Oaks Drive. You can find them on TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and pick a platform. They are everywhere at Mudslinger STX. Life is too short for bland coffee. See, now Rudy's going to want to get himself an OG now.
I have had it, actually. I did break my diet for a little bit with my wife, and I had a couple of sips, and great job. I mean, it tastes just like the old times, man.
Brought back memories.
I was looking for the nearest KB toys after drinking.
Oh, my, don't get me started on that. Oh, I can still feel it. I can still hear it. I can still
smell the smell.
I can still
KB.
smell it. I can still remember how narrow the aisles were, everything.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, before I let you go, just a few more thoughts about Wemby. Shocker, I know. But so obviously, it's almost here. Then the big day. He's gonna get his cap, Spurs cap, draft cap, and all that good stuff. Okay. You brought up something in the second segment that had me thinking, I really want to dive into a little bit more with Rudy. The Spurs have never had a mega star. They've a mega star. Sure. I know Tim Duncan, David, Iceman, perhaps. But if he pans out, I don't think in franchise they've had a star of this magnitude. Timmy was very, once the game's over, I'm done, and minimum media, and we're done. I always argue that David Robinson has been the most marketable player the Spurs have ever had, from the Mr. Robinson's Neighborhood to, yes, starring in movies. Yes, the Admiral starred in movies, everybody, and in rap videos. Not joking. Mm-hmm. But Wembanyama looks like he might take that to a different level. Do you think the Spurs may have to change their ways as far as dealing with media, dealing with television and the NBA pressure and getting him out there? Because this is not only new territory for Spurs fans, what could possibly be having a super megastar in their own backyard. It's also for the Spurs.
It's kind of come down to how he not necessarily treated, but how he welcomes America, being in the United States.
Right.
Because it's a different country compared to France. France is a little more, laid back. It's kind of, a little calmer.
But it's very metropolitan, though.
It's
very metropolitan.
Very. And the only problem I see is, okay, Tim Duncan, yes, came into the league. Was he truly a bona fide generational talent at the time when he was drafted? Nobody knew. We knew he was damn good. We didn't know how good. David Robinson, exact same thing. We knew he was damn good, but we didn't know he was franchise altering good. Victor has everything coming into this season and into this draft already pointing. You have people calling him generational talent. No talent has ever been this marketed since LeBron James came out from high school. Mm-hmm. So these are everything that's being said in media. Is it media driven? Probably so. We don't know exactly. We've seen what he can do on the court. We haven't seen that marketing side of Victor Wembanyama yet over here. So for what I'm seeing and for what I've seen so far on everything is he still is that mild-mannered kid coming over.
He is, yeah.
We don't know exactly how he's going to end up with the United States life. It's a lot more partying here. It's a lot more, social media. Everything here is just more out in the open. If he still stays that way, he's going to be fine. If he starts getting into the commercials, the social medias, everything else, we may see a different side open up. And that's when I think the Spurs have to realize, hey, we kind of got to pull this back. And what you said about Robinson, I kind of go a little bit worse, like not worse back way. I think Gervin was the more marketable guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Gervin wasn't on TV though. Oh yeah, unless he
No,
was. That's I don't remember, but
he was still being marketed with a Converse with Magic
that's
Johnson at the
true. I
time.
mean,
He
he's
had
still
that.
being marketed right now on
Exactly.
Funko Pops and posters and commercial, at least commercials with the new generation of players. But
He's probably the most outspoken Spur, though. That's where he drew a lot of stuff because he was never
Tony,
one to hold
yeah,
back.
Tony Parker was close to really being
Oh yeah.
different.
Can we
Different
say loose
breed.
cannon on a
Yeah,
very mild
yeah. I
side?
mean,
It's kind of like a
his
loose
wedding
cannon
to Eva Longoria was like, the
everywhere.
Royals getting married. I mean, that's what it was treated like.
Yeah.
And of course, his infamous foray into rapping, which is crazy. But anyway, but yeah, I in my opinion, I think this is it's going to be different territory for the Spurs as far as marketing and dealing with media for a potential super mega star.
Yeah.
We should be asking how Cleveland handled it when LeBron James came. There's a small market right there, Cleveland, and then LeBron James comes in and then just explodes on the map. You can see almost similarities in that aspect to Wemby coming to San Antonio. The Spurs, to their credit, last year they were a lot, for their standards, much more open with media. And you really see them making a push into the social media spectrum. From their short films or they have right now the Ring of the Row to players getting on their social their Instagram and whatnot to hey, we won, hey, what's going on, hey, I'm going to read to you my favorite candies that I like to eat, stuff like that. So they've been good about that, but I think that still has to turn. I think it's still probably going to be new territory for them. So let's just say Wemby, more than likely, he's going to get a Nike deal. We know that's coming, and we know it's likely going to be an alien theme kind of going on here. He's going to want to promote that brand. He's going to want to push it out there. He's probably going to be inviting national media. Hey, talk to me about my new sneakers, or hey, I got a new clothing line coming out. Who knows? We don't know yet. We don't know how he's going to handle the spotlight yet.
Yeah.
With the little that we know, he's been okay with it out in France. He really, hasn't really done much over there, but there's going to be outside pressures from him now. He's going to have the NBA. He's going to have the league. He's going to have the Spurs. He's going to have agents. He's going to have shoe companies. He's going to have endorsements left and right. Yeah. So we'll see how he and the Spurs handle it. But I think everything will be okay. We can, do you think Wemby has the potential to be the most marketable Spur ever, even over Robinson and Ice?
Yeah, I mean, I can already say he's going to be probably the most marketable Spur ever. I mean, not only that, like I said, he's coming in at 19 years old. I mean, he hasn't even scratched the surface on anything yet. So I think when it's all said and done, he'll be the most marketable San Antonio Spur. But, where you're concerned, I have a concern as well, is how does San Antonio handle something like this? Because again, we didn't know exactly what we were getting with Tim. We knew we were getting a great player. We didn't know how great until, later on in his career. Same thing with David. Iceman, we didn't have the media coverage that we did back then. So you're getting a generational type talent into the league now, San Antonio. How does San Antonio handle that? If the Spurs the Spurs are like, what, let's say they're 20 and 34. They're not doing great. Are the media is going to come down on them 100%. They're going to say, well, maybe Wemby wasn't the guy. Maybe he's not this. We all know how bad Spurs fans get riled up on stuff like that. So I'm thinking, how is San Antonio going to handle the media attention that everybody's been craving for so many years, actually since the Duncan era? Even in the Duncan era, we weren't getting a whole lot of media attention. But now you're going to have all eyes focused on San Antonio.
I mean, the national media is telling San Antonio we're coming. They're openly saying it. They're saying it on TV. On radio, they're saying we are descending on San Antonio for perhaps the entire season. And that's just the American media. What about the international media, the French media that's going to be coming and living in San Antonio for a good chunk of the year and then some, hopefully, in the playoffs? So the good news is the Spurs have experience in this when it comes to Robinson and Duncan and Tony and Manu, their entourages from Argentina and France. I don't even think they had anything to do with Kawhi either. I mean, Kawhi was just on his own world, but not even with DeMar DeRozan. The most he ever did was promote a new fashion line, and that was it. Nothing big, and LMA was really reserved. And we'll see. Wemby wants to really put his face out there. If he wants to be the face of the NBA, it's going to come with a lot of extra little.
Spurs have to accept it. They do.
Yeah.
I mean, if you hold him back to doing what he wants to do, then he's not going to be here more than 4 years. I mean, that's
yeah.
And he's going to sign. Yeah, he's going to sign a rookie deal, but I mean, that's what he's going to leave.
Yeah, and on that note, we're done talking. We want to hear from you. What do you think about Wemby's heavy summer schedule? Is that a little concerning for you? And does it also make you want to say, you know what, Wemby? Yeah, you don't have to worry about Sacramento and Las Vegas, those games. Don't worry about it. Just get back from France or your Team France duties and get ready for the Spurs season. And what do you think about the bright lights that are going to be descending in San Antonio? Do you think the Spurs are going to be a little different with their potential megastar? Well, we would like to hear from you. Rudy, you don't have a Twitter, but still, how can still people chat with you or get a hold of you, or just check out your stuff?
So we're on podcasts. Wherever podcasts are available, Spotify, iHeart, everywhere podcasts at Sweep the League. I did have Twitter. I'm on a Twitter break right now, quote unquote. It's deactivated just for a little bit. It is at Sweep the League, so just search for me on there. Probably within the next couple of weeks, it'll be active again.
So it's still there. You're just not.
Yeah, it's when you search, it's not there when you search it because you can only deactivate, but you have 30 days to come back. So I'm on a little media break right now. I'm on a little social media break.
Yeah, you're here.
Yeah,
I'm on camera, right?
I'm on camera with you because I love coming on your show and helping you out. Every chance I get. But you can find me on Twitter. Eventually, it's at Sweep the League. But again, our Sweep the League podcast is on. It's available wherever podcasts are available. So just look for us there on there.
Take it easy on Wemby when you're done here. Try not to posterize him. Try not to posterize him or break his ankles. Don't do that. Knock on wood. Don't do that.
I'm not doing nothing like that.
Right.
We are working on his post game. I'm showing him the old post games back when I played ball.
That's good. Yeah, take it easy on him. Hey, we thank you for making Locked On Spurs your first listen each and every day. You guys are the everydayers. Love the fact y'all come here every day. Tomorrow's show, well, let's put it this way. It's probably going to be draft week, Wemby week. So expect a lot of that. I believe the next guest is going to be Casey Vieira, my colleague at Ken's 5. He's going to come back. He's going to talk to you about what's in store for everybody on the TV side over at Ken's. And obviously, we'll talk about Wemby and much, much more. Subscribe to Locked On Spurs wherever you get your favorite podcast, Google Play, Stitcher, iTunes. The list goes on and on and on. The Ken's 5 Plus app as well. We just love hearing from you and knowing that you are watching. But for Rudy Campos, I am Jeff Garcia. We're going to put a lock on this episode of Locked On Spurs.